Yeah, back to it. Have somebody come in, you know. So the point is, it's like you gotta know what your first love is. You gotta know why you came in this truth. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, like, if you put your strength in anything, that's what seek the kingdom first. Seek salvation first. Focus on salvation. That's what that means. If you put your power and your faith in anything else, whether it be a man, whether it be a group, whether it be worldly things, right? When you lose those things, that's where the test come in. Are you going to still remain faithful to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai? Or were you only faithful because you were following after these men or these groups or these materialistic things or this money? Like, you see what I'm saying? So I love like the position that I'm in, me and Quana, because it's like we are 100% dependent and hanging on Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You know, it's just me and him. And even before him, it was just me out there by myself. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I could be 100% dependent on the Lord. So if anything is taken from me, we lose anything, all hell break loose. Because it says, prophecy says that it should be 10 left in the city. That means it says it's going to be very scarce, you know. But anything we lose, you know, I still got a good foundation because my foundation is based off simply the faith that I have in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And that's my message to brothers, is that's how you should be set up when you come into this truth. A lot of brothers, just like myself, you come into this truth and you see these great teachers and these men and these leaders and these Kims, and you want to join it so bad. Now, if the spirit just happened, you know, and you in a city, you know what I mean, you end up merging good with this group, and that leads you to go out there and teach together. That's cool. But the thing is, a lot of times that happens that way, but you have to let these people have authority over you, so that these people get to put a ceiling over you based off what they think. And it's all based off what we got a feeling that these men are holy men, or we got a feeling that these men are men of the Lord. Even though you can't prove it for a fact, nobody can, and you don't really know for a fact, nobody can. The Lord knows those things, but that's the excuse for why they give these men authority over them. But the thing is, what happens a lot of times is brothers put ceilings over you, or maybe you just don't gel right and with these type of brothers and they structure that they got, and that could cause you to fall out the truth. And I've seen it happen before. You know what I mean? So because you came in for the wrong reasons, you got to come in for the right reasons, and you got to know what you're dealing with. You know, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be the type of guy that if the Lord took everything away from you and you got thrown in a FEMA camp, just you by yourself, you still gonna remain faithful. You got to be that type of guy. Yeah, we all could. It's easy to remain faithful if we got our 500, 300 brothers that we with. You see what I'm saying? We all together, and then we just gonna go out together. That's different. Like the 300 Spartans, it's different. What if you just was one Spartan fighting against the whole Persian army on that little cliff right there? Would you still remain? See, that's a whole different game. You see what I'm saying? We got examples of men that did, you know, that are that way in the Bible, prophets, you know. But every man's gonna be tested, right? So whatever you doing, you know, hopefully it helps you pass the test. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep going. This is Zechariah 1 verse 67. And his father Zacharias was filled with the Holy Ghost and prophesied, saying, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people." Right? So you got to focus on that salvation right there. It says it has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. So when you read that, of course, the natural human emotion, you know, nature is to think that means you. You want to put yourself in that word all. When it says, look, that we should be saved for our enemies, you gonna put yourself in the we. You gonna say that you're the 1/3. Your spirit gonna be pushing towards you the 1/3, right? But my only thing is, it's like, just make sure that you're doing what the Lord told you to do, so you can work out your own salvation. You know, make your salvation sure. You know, do the things to the best of the ability that the Lord told you to do. Because that we might not be you. You might be part of the 2/3. You could been out there teaching for 10 years, and it don't make you the elect. Only the Lord knows that. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta work out your own salvation. It says that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. And that's how you seek salvation. You got to remember that holy covenant, which goes back to what? The law, statutes, commandments. So you can't go off your feelings because I'm mad at this brother, I'm going to make up stuff about him. Or I'm mad at this brother, now I'm not going to show him no love. That's not going off the Bible and the commandments. That's you going off just your own heart, your own feelings, because you're mad. And then you go in the Bible and you find shit to back up what you're saying, and you twist words and shit like that, and then you superimpose yourself into there to say it's talking about you. When it says servants be faithful to your master, it's not talking about the dude that you met in your town that's down on the highways and byways teaching the Bible that you came down there with. It's not. He's not your master. You see what I'm saying? But brothers use that and put it, mark them that cause division. It's not talking about the 500 members that, or the 300 members that you got of your camp, and then mark them that cause division amongst your camp. That's not what it's talking about. When it's talking about that, it's talking about, first of all, it was specific to that church, right? Not you. But if you want to oppose yourself and say, okay, well, we are that church reincarnated, I guess, you know, brothers could do that. Brothers try to do things like that. But really, if you're going to oppose it to anything, like, it's really talking about Israel. You see what I'm saying? So mark them that cause division amongst Israel, not your 300 members, because this is not about your group, because the elect is scattered amongst the Israelites. So you have to go off the masses because you don't know who the elect is. You see what I'm saying? So it's talking about, so technically you could be guilty of that. If you take 300 members and you separate yourself from the rest of Israel, the rest of the elect, you're really the one that's causing division. So you need to mark yourself, because what if you got elect in your group, but you got elect that's not inside your group? But this group say you can't do anything with anybody outside this group pertaining to the truth. That's causing the division. I mean, it's just that simple. So let's keep going, right? Verse 74, that he would grant it to us that we, being delivered out the hand of our enemies, may serve him without fear in holiness and righteousness before all the days of our life. And thou, child, shall be called the prophet of the highest, and thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare his ways, to get knowledge of salvation and to his people by the remission of their sin. And you can keep going and keep going, but that's pretty much the point, man. You know, I see a lot of brothers, you know, they go out on the highways and byways, but you could just see the spell that that some of these other people got over them, and you can see they can't break it. But a lot of guys do that because they couldn't really do it on their own. I done seen guys try to go out on their own and it didn't work for them, so they had to run and go get with a group. You see what I'm saying? When they went out on their own, that shit didn't work out for them. It ain't feel good. That's because their faith was low. Their spirit was low. They couldn't do it, man. You see what I'm saying? So they had to get around these other guys, and that's really the only thing sustaining them. And the truth is because they are around these other guys, and they get their validation from those guys to keep going. You know, and then on the flip side, you do lean on your brothers, right? But what happens when you on your own? Can you follow the Lord? Are you gonna keep faith then when you're tested? You see what I'm saying? When that temptation comes. See, that's why the mark of the beast, being the sea hip, is perfect, because you gonna get tested in your own individual life when the mark of the beast comes to pass, that prophecy comes to pass. You can have all the brothers at camp all day you want, but what's going on at home? Or are you going to take the sea hip when it's mandatory, when you can't feed your family? You can't buy yourself? When that day come, man, we finna see we gonna see the truth, man. We gonna see who's really about this, man. And don't be surprised if some of the people that you look up to as being great teachers and elders, don't be surprised if they fold, man. It's gonna be a complete mess, but it's gonna be completely beautiful at the same time. You know, this is the Lord's technology. This ain't Esau technology. The mark of the beast, the Lord's giving him that technology. The fighter jet that the Edomites were going to use to fight against the Lord gave them the technology to build that. Cables, internet, the Lord gave them the technology. The internet of all things, the Lord gave them the technology to do that. They didn't make that up themselves, man. spaceships, rockets, Tesla, electric cars. The Lord is giving them that technology, man. You got to understand what's going on. The Israelites are going to take the kingdom. So the beast system that they're building, we're going to take that and we're going to have that. We don't be surprised if we have the internet of all things in the kingdom. The only difference is it's called the beast system because the wicked are in rulership of it. But the Lord, what the Lord is doing, he's using the wicked to build up this system, and he's going to translate that great system because it is great technology. I mean, a Tesla family car, 4 seats, right, is the fastest production car on I mean, faster than your Ferraris, faster than your Lamborghinis, faster than all that shit. Costs 3 times less and will smoke all that stuff on the street. That's advanced technology. Now you looking at the technology like, yeah, it's completely wicked. It's on the only thing that make it wicked is that the wicked is in rulership and have control over it. But this technology and this information on how to build things like the nuclear missile, that comes directly from the Lord. The Lord gave them that technology. They didn't get that themselves. The Lord created it. He used it already in Sodom and Gomorrah. You see, so I mean, we don't know. We gonna see how the kingdom's gonna be. But I wouldn't be surprised, like, if a lot of this advanced technology is being built up for the Israelites to take it over, and then we have it in the kingdom. Because when you go back to what I was saying, when you talk about the Ark of the Covenant, that's just advanced technology that they had. But the Lord gave it to them. You know what I mean? Like, people look at it like it's just like the Ark of the Covenant was like something magical, like witchcraft, but it wasn't. It's actually advanced technology that the Lord gave to the Israelites. So yeah, it could have been a capacitor or like a power plant that the Lord gave the Israelites this technology, because it got a lot of qualities of having radiation. You know, the Levites had to go in there with certain type of garments. It had to be carried a certain type of way. People died from touching it. You know, so that's talking about radiation. You know, so the Lord's going to give us that technology in the kingdom, man. We just got to see how great it's going to be, you know. It's nothing that we can't even imagine how great it's going to be. This is Zephaniah chapter 2. Gather yourselves together, yet gather together, O nation not desire. So mark them that cause division is the guys that separating into groups, and then they don't want to come together with anybody outside their group, because we're being commanded to gather ourselves together. This ain't talking about gather yourself 300 into a group, 500, 1,000. This is talking about the Israelites gather yourself together, because it says, "O nation not desired," not "O group not desired." You see what I'm saying? So this is bigger than your group. See, you got to remember what this whole thing is about, man. Or you could be guilty of some things, right? Verse 2: before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a shaft, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Now watch this. This is my point. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, and it may be ye should be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. So that goes back to the point of this whole thing, right? Which is what? Focus on salvation. That's seeking the Lord. Seeking the kingdom is focus on salvation, because you're being saved for what? You're being saved by what? By the Lord. So that is seeking the Lord. And you're being saved to inherit the kingdom. So that is seeking the kingdom. Seek salvation first. You see what I'm saying? Like, now salvation ain't just going on the highways and byways and teaching. Salvation is following the Lord's way. Like, here, let's see what's going to get you salvation. Let me get a precept for it real quick. This is what's going to get you salvation. 1 John chapter 2 verse 4. He that say I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that say he abideth in him, all himself also so to walk even as he walked. So you have to walk in the way that the Lord walked. You see what I'm saying? You can't, you know, a lot of brothers are walking in the way that their favorite leader or their favorite elder is walking, but can they say that they walking in the way that the Lord is the way that the Lord walked? So that's very important, you know. But you know, at the same time, the Lord has control in everything, you know. And the world about to be tested. We all gonna be tested, man. And then that's when stuff's gonna get real, man. You know what I mean? A lot of strongholds and power structures that's being built by man, whether they be in the truth or out the truth, that shit finna get teared down, man. And then you gonna have to see what you got. We gonna have to see what you got personally. You see what I'm saying? So with that, I'm gonna say salvation to the elect. Shalom.